Hello and welcome to a special episode of Cooking for Two 101. This is our Thanksgiving for Two 101. And yes, it's a lot of food to make in a very short amount of time. So I've done a lot of prep work, but I've taught you how to do all of that stuff already. So we're going to start with cranberry sauce. Cranberry sauce is excellent out of the can, don't get me wrong, but if you can make your own, why wouldn't you? So I have 1 pound or 1 bag of cranberries in this pot. I'm going to put it on medium high, and I'm going to add to it, and this is a shocker. Oh, I got some butter on my cup here, but no big deal, it's just butter. 1 cup of cranberry juice instead of water like the package says. And I'm going to do that because I like a really tart cranberry sauce. That being said, I'm also going to add a cup of sugar because the sugar is what makes it into a jelly and makes it solidify. So you really need the sugar. I'm also going to add, let me stir this up a little bit, get it moving around while it heats up. I'm also going to add 2 mandarins. Now, you could add an orange, and that's perfectly fine, but mandarins are in season right now, and I'm not really sure that oranges are. So I like to add mandarins. They're delicious. I know they're so cute. I guess that's why they call them cuties. I don't know. So 2 mandarins, and the zest of both of those mandarins are going to go right into here. What we're going to do is let this cook until it comes to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we're going to turn it down, and we're going to let it simmer until all of those berries start to pop. And that's when all the juice releases. Here's all the zest, and it starts to thicken up. Oh my gosh, it smells amazing. I haven't even done anything. Okay, I'm going to stir this about. It's probably going to take maybe 10 minutes, probably a little bit less. Just keep your eye on it. You don't want it to burn. All right, in the meantime, we are going to start the stuffing. So this is a round of sourdough bread, and I'm going to tear it into chunks. And the reason I'm tearing it is it gives it more crags, so it has the opportunity to soak up more flavor. And this is not a whole round, it's just a half a round because it's just 2 people. So this is a half a sheet tray. I'm just going to pop this in the oven at about 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. Halfway through, I'm going to shake it and turn it about a bit. I'm trying to dry the bread out. If you're a planner, I'm not really, you could just do this and leave it out overnight so it dries itself. But since I didn't do that, this is a way to solve the problem. All right, I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm going to get ready to make the mix that goes on this, and we'll be right back. Okay, let's check in on the cranberries. They're starting to bubble. Their berries are popping. It's releasing the pectin, natural pectin in there. The sugar is dissolving. And this is what's going to make your cranberry sauce a sauce. This is excellent. We're going to go about 3 more minutes. We're going to let it cool down completely. Then we're going to put it in the refrigerator. And that's why we're doing it first, because we want it to be cold. All right, so now we're going to prepare the stuffing. So our bread is crisped up. You can hear it. It's nice and crunchy. It's all dried out. Oh, it's going to be the best. I have here 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. The olive oil is to keep it from burning, to keep the butter from burning, and the butter is for flavor. First, we're going to add in this is half a diced onion. And we're going to let that saute a bit. Oh my goodness, what a bad plan. I should have done a bunch of dishes, but I don't want to do dishes. Blech. Anyway, saute those up. When they become translucent, we're going to add the garlic. And once we can smell the garlic, we're going to add the celery and the mushrooms. We want to do the onions separately because we want them to leave their juices in the oil and the butter so that they flavor all the other things that we're putting in. After that, what we're going to do is we're going to put all of the bread and all of the vegetables in this bowl with 2 beaten eggs and 3/4 of a cup of chicken broth. We're going to mix it all together, and we're going to add the herbs. We have thyme, we have rosemary, and we have sage. And I want to show you how to cut sage. It's sort of a chiffonade. You pile all the leaves up like this. This is a messy pile, but it still will work. You roll them up and you slice them very thinly. Sage is actually quite powerful. So we actually might not need all that. That's a lot of sage. But what this does is it gives you, if you go to the store and you see that poultry mix, that poultry seasoning, it's basically sage, thyme, and rosemary. We're going to use fresh thyme. And what you want to do is take the thyme and just pull the leaves off backwards from the stem. Just like that. It's very simple. But we are going to use dried rosemary because fresh rosemary is very hard to get it to break down in the stuffing because the dressing, because we're only going to cook it in the oven for about 30 minutes. If we were putting it inside the turkey in the oven and cooking it for 2 or 3 hours, it would be fine, but that's not what we're doing. So we're going to use dried rosemary, but fresh thyme and sage. All right, so these are looking good. Yay, team. We're going to add the garlic. This is 3 cloves of garlic that I've pressed. So it's very finely minced. You can also do it with a knife. Just make it really, really small. And as soon as you start to smell that, that means it's ready to add more things like celery and mushrooms. But you don't want to do the mushrooms first because the mushrooms release a lot of liquid and that will reduce the depth of flavor of the garlic because it doesn't get to cook all of its yumminess out first. Oh, that smells amazing. Okay, it goes very fast. Okay, now we're just going to add, this is 3 stalks of celery and about 1/2 pound of mushrooms that have been diced quite finely. We want it to cook quickly because we're doing it in the oven. Okay, so this is going to take about, oh, actually I want to season it. I'm going to put in some salt and some pepper. And then our yummy herbs. So we have the sage right there. We have the thyme. I think it was mostly bundled up in that sage. And then about just like a palmful of rosemary. That's plenty. You don't really need much more than that. Okay, we're going to cook this down. It's going to take about 10 minutes, and then we'll be back. Okay, so our vegetables are cooking down quite nicely. The onions are translucent. The mushrooms have let go of their juices. Now I'm going to add about a palmful, and I mean a happy palmful of poultry seasoning. This is going to flavor our entire dressing, actually, maybe even a little more. And so you want a lot of flavor in it. I'm also going to add some salt. That's empty. That wasn't a lot of salt. It was like maybe a teaspoon. And some pepper. There you go. I'm going to mix this about a bit. Oh, smells so good. And I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to add these vegetables to our crisp up sourdough bread shards. This is really heavy. Oh, I'm going to need help. Let me get this thing. There we go. Yeah. Oh, there's so much stuff left in there. Let me try again. You, leave no man behind. This stuff is so good. I think that dressing or stuffing and gravy are the key components to Thanksgiving dinner, quite frankly. All right, I'm going to stir these vegetables into the crispy bread. And next I'm going to add 2 eggs that I've beaten into this bowl and 3/4 cup of chicken stock. I'm going to mix these together. And then I'm going to pour it over the bread. And I want the bread to drink up this moisture. And if it, when we're going to mix it together, and if it doesn't seem moist enough, we're going to add a little bit more chicken stock. We're going to toss it like this. And if it doesn't seem moist enough, if the bread is still crunchy, then it's not moist enough. Excuse me. So we're just going to mix, mix, mix. And I'm still hearing the crispy bread part. All right, so I'm actually going to add about 1/4 cup more. Just over the top here. There we go. Okay. I think that, oh, there we go. Sound's gone. I think we're good. Okay, so this is what I'm going to cook my dressing in. I'm going to spray it down with some avocado spray, or you could rub it with butter, or you could use Pam or whatever. But you don't want it to stick because you want to eat all of this. This stuff's going to be amazing. And we're going to pop it in the pan, just like that. And we're going to bake it in the oven at 350 degrees. Like, where else would you bake it? Crazy. Bake it in the oven at 350 degrees for probably 45 minutes. And I'm going to bake it uncovered because I want all of the moisture, the excess moisture, to come out, and I want the top to crisp. All right, let's put it in. Okay, next I'm going to clean up, and then we're going to get started on the turkey. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes, and here's the key to my ridiculously delicious stuffing that I've made for 25 years, and it's really good. We are going to add 1, 2, 3 giant tablespoons of grated Parmesan. We're going to mix it in. Oh, that's hot, I forgot. This is going to give it an amazing saltiness, but also it's going to help the top crisp up. It's going to be delicious. And you will be the hero of your own Thanksgiving. All right, we're going to put this back in for another 30 minutes. And next, we're going to move on to the turkey in the Instant Pot. What? Okay, it's time to make the star of the show. For our Thanksgiving for 2, we are going to make a bone-in, skin-on turkey breast, half a turkey breast, and a turkey leg. What we're going to do first is in the Instant Pot, I'm going to pour in some chicken broth, and we're going to pour it in until it just about submerges the trivet, which I have also placed in there. And we'll see how much that is. 3 cups. Well, I might as well pour that in. 3 cups of chicken broth. Next, we're going to rub, and if you're against butter, don't do this part. You could use olive oil or whatever you want. But I'm going to put some butter all over the outside of this, because what it's going to do is help the seasoning stick, number one, but also it's going to flavor the turkey. Turkey doesn't have a lot of flavor. It needs all the love it can get. So that's what we're doing. You could put this under the skin if you want to. That's perfectly fine, but we're really not going to crisp up the skin because, I mean, it's for TV ball. I don't need to take a picture. It's not a show. Oh, wait, maybe it is. Also, we're going to sprinkle it with some diced up rosemary, and by diced, I mean roughly chopped, and some fresh thyme, which I showed you how to do earlier. This is rosemary. You just pull it backwards off the stem and sprinkle it on. You could chop it up if you want to. The reason that we're not chopping it up in this portion is because it's going in the Instant Pot. Rosemary is very hard to cook, but the Instant Pot will do it just fine. In the oven, it's not going to do it just fine. So that's why we didn't do it that way earlier. We're also going to add some fresh sage, and we're just going to lay it on because it's delicious and it's aromatic and yummy. We're going to put the rest of this thyme on because why not? What am I going to do with it if I don't use it right now? And we're going to put this down here into the trivet just like that. Look at that pretty little package. Hi, what are you doing? Along with this, we are going to put all of the things that are going to season our gravy. And gravy, quite frankly, to me, is the most important part of the meal. So I have very large pieces of celery that I have chopped up. I have 1½ onions, and I'm just going to nestle them all around this turkey breast. And what this is going to do is absorb all of the juices of the turkey while it's cooking, and it's going to drip them right down into the bottom where all of that stock is, and that's going to be our gravy. It's going to be amazing. Okay, I also have, let me get the rest of this stuff out. 3 cloves of garlic and about a half a pound of mushrooms. I'm going to pour all of those in. And now it's party time. Put the lid on, set this baby for pressure cook for 45 minutes, and then we're going to see what happens. Oh, I know what's going to happen. It's going to be amazing. Okay, we'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, time's up. We're going to take the turkey out of the Instant Pot. Oh, that smells amazing. Yay! I'm going to put it on this sheet pan. What we want to do is let it rest. You can use your thermometer to check it if you'd like to. It needs to be at least 150, 155 when you take it out of here. But what we're going to do right now is tent it with some tin foil and let it rest. It's just a turkey breast. It doesn't need forever and a day, but it does need some time. All right. So while that's happening, we're going to take the trivet out, which is this thing, and we're going to work on the gravy. Now, in my humble opinion, gravy, stuffing, and cranberry sauce are actually really what this party is all about. Those things are the bomb. So I'm stirring this up a little bit because sometimes a little bit of the turkey carcass will fall off in there, and nobody wants to boat motor a big old bone. So I'm going to pull all that stuff out. You want this to all be smooth-ish, at least not rigid. All right, here we go. Oh, that's a big piece of turkey. I might save that as a sample for later. Okay, so in the pot, we now have all the drippings from the turkey. We have the stock that we put in earlier, all of the onions, all of the celery, the garlic, and the seasonings. What we're going to do now is add some more seasoning because turkey has no flavor and gravy is the star. So in my hand here, I have a palmful of celery salt, a little bit of extra poultry seasoning, which has all the good stuff in it, palmful also, and some extra pepper. Once this is all blended together, we're going to add a turkey broth and cornstarch slurry, which is going to thicken it up. We're also going to add a pinch and at the beginning, and then we'll season it up a little bit more of pink Himalayan salt. This salt is the bomb. Stop using, what's it called, ionized salt. Ugh, it doesn't taste good. It tastes like, I don't even know what. It tastes like, what's the word? I don't even know, but someday I'll remember it and tell you. Okay, we're going to boat motor the... Oh, by the way, turn this off. You don't want to do this while that's on. Okay, here we go. If you don't have a boat motor, you can pour this into a blender. You could put it in a food processor. Just do it in batches. And remember that the fill level for hot liquids is a little bit lower than cold. Okay, here we go. Oh, I think we have something in there crunchy. All right, I'm going to fish that out. I'll be right back. Okay, our stock is bubbling. I have 1 cup of turkey stock, which is hard to find except around Thanksgiving, and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch in this measuring cup. And you want to mix it together, and it has to be cold. It's not going to work if it's warm. Cold stock, room temperature at least. All right, so I'm going to add this in. Oh, there's some on the bottom. Let me get that. Okay, because this is what's going to thicken the gravy, along with all the vegetables that we pureed in the sauce. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to stir this about as I pour it in. Look at it boiling. Oh, it's a yum. This is like, I can't decide. Is this better than stuffing or is stuffing better than gravy? Oh, it's such a hard choice. I can't even decide. But either way, the two of them together, to me, is what makes Thanksgiving Thanksgiving. Okay, so we're going to keep stirring this. We're going to bring it to a boil, and as it boils, it's going to thicken. When we come back, I'm going to show you the stuffing, I'm going to show you the turkey, I'm going to show you the cranberry sauce. Stay tuned. Yay! Thanksgiving dinner is finally ready. I know it was a long video, and thanks for hanging in there. When you're making your gravy, if it's a little thin for your liking, just add a little bit more turkey stock and a little bit more cornstarch and bring it to a boil until it's the thickness that you like. Don't forget to taste it for seasoning. Salt and pepper is very important. We have now here in my opinion, foremost important components of Thanksgiving. We have stuffing, we have turkey, we have gravy, we have homemade cranberry sauce. If you like potatoes, make some potatoes. If you want sweet potatoes, make some sweet potatoes. You want pumpkin pie? Go to town. This is all I can handle right now. And let's not forget, it's just for two. I know it's a weird Thanksgiving. We don't get to go see our loved ones. John and I are going to be sitting here at home together. So let's make it special. Set the table. Dress up. Send flowers to your loved ones. Enjoy your meal. Don't stand over the counter eating it. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually set a place at the table and enjoy my Thanksgiving. Thank you for watching Cooking for Two 101. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this with your friends because nobody needs to eat bad Thanksgiving dinner.